my question to everyone. Who is taking care of number one? Yeah.
All right, what I'm fixing to talk about is very popular, but once you hear what I gotta say, I'm pretty sure you're gonna ostracize me and not want to hear what I gotta say ever again. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We all have different opinions. We all have different paths to get to where we've gotten to. My path to get to where I am, where I own my own truck, I'm my own boss and everything else, I followed it by having the desire, the dedication, and the determination. I'm going to make this work. I don't listen to people on Wall Street. I don't listen to people who predict what's going to happen on Wall Street. They can't predict the weather. They can't predict Wall Street. They can't predict jack diddly squat. They could. They would have predicted this man would have won the presidency, but they didn't. They predicted he would lose in a landslide. He didn't. They predicted if he wins, the economy is going to tank. It didn't. If you hadn't figured out by now, Wall Street, economists, all these people are political. And they hate this man. They're never going to say the market's doing good or things are looking up. So I don't pay them no attention. Here's the bottom line. People have to eat. People have to have clothes. They have to have a way of going. They have to have all these things. And they don't just magically appear. We have to bring them to them. We have to deliver to stores, to distribution centers, to factories, to make the stuff. Do you think the cost of living is going to go down? Do you think a gallon of milk is going to start getting cheaper? Do you think a loaf of bread is going to get cheaper? Because the economy's doing bad, all of a sudden you can buy stuff real cheap. Thus, we don't make as much money because if the factory is selling it cheap and the stores are selling it cheap, that means they're not making as much money. They can't pay us as much money, right? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Bread will never go down. Milk will never go down. None of this stuff is ever going to go down. It's only going to go up. So they're going to keep making their money, and we're going to keep making our money. Now, you can be gloomy Gus. You can try to run an 18-wheeler trucking by listening to some knucklehead up in New York on Wall Street, or you can listen to your own mind, your own common sense. There's nothing wrong with watching the stock market and doing all this. But I don't pretend that I'm that person. I'm not saying y'all are pretending y'all that people. But I'm just saying, you can make money truck driving. You can make money owning your own truck. But you have to have some common sense about it. You have to know when not to take a load. You have to know when to take a load. I made mistakes on both ends. But I'm fixing to play this little clip here, and I want you to watch it and listen to it, and you'll see what I'm saying. They predicted that the economy would tank. Now, everything he's predicting, it's not going to come true. A big portion of it is. He has created, I want to say close to 6 or 7 million jobs have come back or either been created. The economy has grew by trillions of dollars. The GDP is way up from what it was the previous 8 years. We're doing really good. And you can be gloomy Gus till the day you die. That's your prerogative. I'm not telling you how to run your business. But I'm going to give my side of the story. Maybe 1%, 2%, 3% of the people that I'll be reaching is to compare to the number of people you'll reach. You have thousands and thousands of people that watch your videos. I have maybe 120 subscribers, maybe less by now. Average about maybe 20 views, 25 views, something like that. So not that many people's going to see it. But I'm going to put it out there because maybe somebody will see it. Maybe somebody that has a lot of subscribers that agrees with me, and they'll redo it, reshare it, so more people can see it and understand what I'm saying. The economy's doing good right now. Wall Street's doing good. So I don't understand what the problem is. I mean, I got agents calling me trying to get me to take loads. There's loads on the board paying $4, $3. There's cheap freight out there too. You just have to leave that on the table for these big corporate companies that can haul it cheap. And don't you take it. You know what I'm saying? Look out for yourself. But anyway, watch this clip and tell me, what you think.
I'm going to lower your taxes very, very substantially. I'm going to get rid of massive amounts of unnecessary regulation. All of these regulations in your business and in your life. I'm going to unleash American energy. I'm going to repeal and replace Obamacare. I'm going to appoint justices of the Supreme Court who will follow the Constitution.
Okay, so do you see what I'm talking about now? Gloomy Gus, the economy's going to tank. You have to have common sense when you're truck driving. No city slicker off of Wall Street is going to come up here and climb in one of these trucks and really have that good of a chance of making a good living doing it. My granddaddy drove trucks hauling what they call, I don't know if y'all ever heard of tongue oils. He hauled tongue oils, is like a nut. He hauled that. He hauled watermelons. He hauled all kind of stuff. He worked in labor, providing labor for Campbell Soup Company and for Gladioli flower place there in Mariana, right across the street from the TA. That white building, that used to be Gladioli, Malloy's Gladioli's flowers. He provided labor for all that. All that property back there off the interstate, that's what that used to be. So he's worked in all this kind of stuff. My uncle, his son, was truck driving back when they had gas burning motors, not diesel, before there was ever any interstates. Hauling cows, hauling lumber, hauling all kind of stuff. And when I was a little boy, I used to crawl up in his truck. Back then they had cab overs back in the 70s because they had length laws back then. The truck could only be so long, so they built those cab overs. And I used to crawl up in that truck, man. I loved it. I always wanted to be a truck driver. This is probably my favorite job other than being in the United States Army that I've ever had. I love truck driving. I love seeing the country. I love seeing different people. I just love our country. Being able to travel and see stuff. And I love it. I do. I really love it. And so it's okay if you want to tell people rates are going down and this and that about the stock market. That's your prerogative. You can do all that stuff. But you're not being honest and you're not being fair if you don't show both sides of the story. If you don't say, but this is going on or that's going on, and you can still make a living and I don't know. I just wish people would be more forthcoming and not so negative. I've heard some talk about some kind of round table. And some of these guys that they're talking about that are there, I watch some of their YouTube videos. I don't know. I'm old school, you know. My uncle, I'd still take advice from him. I still believe in the old ways of doing things, I guess. But when I see some of these guys and I hear the way they talk, and they're so obsessed with their trucks and everything else, and like they'll go out and buy a $180,000 truck. I bought a $50,000 truck and I'm making the same money, except I get to keep more of it because I don't have a big payment. Somebody else went out and probably bought a $15,000, $25,000 truck, and they're keeping even more money than me. This is just facts. You don't have to have a $180,000 truck to go out and make money. And I'd rather have a older model truck that's mechanical, not computerized, and take my chances with it than I had this new stuff. But anyway, I'll try not to make the video too long. We're already up to almost 12 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But I just want you to understand, people cannot predict on a consistent basis the stock market. And it doesn't matter if the stock market's up or if it's down. People gotta eat. People still gonna need stuff. So hey, I don't let the stock market dictate my life and how I truck drive. So it's up to you how you want to do it. And I just want you to think about truck driving. Get out here and give it a try. Don't be afraid. Take a chance. And I just wish all these people with all this stock market advice that like to tell people how to spend their money, if they go out and spend that money the way you tell them to and then they fail, are you going to bail them out? Oh, well. So don't try to copy somebody else and think it's going to work for you. You have to cut out your own notch and do it your way. But you have to think about it. You have to plan. You have to sit down. You have to strategize and make sure you're ready to do this. It takes commitment. Like I said, it takes desire, determination, dedication. And you can make this work. And I hope and wish you all the best. Thanks for watching.
I'm from the old school, but I made up my own rules. But I learned a thing or two from some pretty good teachers. My education has served me well.